Over the past many years, with the emergence of the Internet and other digital technologies, there are now available many very inexpensive, easy, and fast ways to communicate. But it is essential to make a very important distinction between inexpensive and cost-effective. Inexpensive solely addresses cost. Cost-effective is a much more meaningful indicator of value because it takes into account the final results of the initiative. With the availability of new media, there has been a dramatic and understandable move away from the traditional, more costly live meeting. But this trend comes with its own set of issues. With today's new media, the viewer is most often receiving the communication remotely, and this can become an obstacle to effective audience engagement. The viewer can easily become disconnected from the message. The belief that, because we send it, they will listen, is often a false premise. Bottom line, no matter what form a communication initiative takes, it is the viewer who is the ultimate determinant of success. Content, not technology, should be the driving force in any communications initiative. You, of course, have your own set of goals and message content. But remember, the viewer, too, has his or her own agenda. It is critical to understand and respect the viewer's point of view, including preconceived biases, opinions, and skepticism. Acknowledging these views will allow you to effectively address issues in a way that will be more engaging and persuasive. I believe there is often very little correlation between the money spent and the results achieved. In fact, I believe that a modest budget is an opportunity to innovate and be more creative. Smart and clever, not expensive.
We have a serious shortfall.
We don't have a budget. So what are we going to do?
What do you have to say, Abe?
I'm going to give the greatest speech ever spoken, and I'll write it myself. A penny saved is a penny earned. Yahoo! Fasten your seatbelts, gentlemen. There's a whole new world of digital technology coming. Webcasts? Sounds expensive. Everyone's connected 24/7. Be held slaves to our budget. This will cost a pretty penny. Balderdash. The buck stops here. Remember, we whipped the pants off them redcoats, and they were working with a much bigger budget than us.
And fancier uniforms.
This is America, the land of opportunity. There's got to be a lot of clever ideas still to be found in them our hills. The good news is there are a lot of great ideas and innovative ways to create effective communications without the big buck. I'd like to recommend some specific strategies that you can employ in order to maximize your communications investment. To begin with, put your money where it counts most. Now this may sound obvious, but it is often overlooked. In a communications project, every piece of information is frequently given equal weight. Instead, place your emphasis on the key points, especially those that need to change viewer attitude or behavior. Don't forget our favorite viewer. He's always lurking out there somewhere. In this case, it's easy to predict which topics are more likely to concern him. But what if there is something happening in the market that will have a huge impact on your business? This is when smart, strategic, and creative thinking is essential. One strategy is to break what I call the predictability mold. If your presentation approach looks like and feels like every other one the viewers have experienced, you are encouraging them to hold on to their existing biases and opinions and general level of interest. Incorporate elements of surprise and humor when appropriate. It can be a very powerful way to change a viewer's perspective on a topic. Whenever possible, use visuals in place of words. Numerous studies have shown that incorporating video elements dramatically increases audience engagement.
Welcome to a place where the creative possibilities are limitless, where whatever we can imagine can be created.
I've developed an innovative approach to video production that significantly reduces cost while expanding your creative options and delivering higher production value.
Mr. Mowbray, what makes you such a great talking head?
I'm charismatic, I'm dynamic, I know how to make a point, I never have to raise my voice, I just raise my hand.
It's impressive.
I know all the tricks.
Cheap tricks?
Cheap? Why, I've spent thousands and thousands on speech coaches. It's all in the body language.
Interactive elements can be a very powerful means to audience engagement. I use the term interactive here in a broad sense. Concepts that use interactive technology, as well as creative concepts in which the presenter interacts with the information and the audience in very innovative ways. This is a concept I call the interactive brochure, in which the viewer interacts directly with information in the brochure.
In case things don't work out the way I'm hoping, I'd like to thank Bob Carter for the wonderful opportunity to represent his extraordinarily creative organization. Now, in a matter of seconds, I'll be shot out of this cannon through a skylight in the roof of this studio into a suborbital trajectory towards Bayonne, New Jersey. I will come to rest in the waiting safety of a reclaimed commercial fisherman's home. Hey, this cannon doesn't look like it's a die.
And finally, as much as possible, start your thinking and planning with a clean slate. This is probably the most challenging guideline to follow and calls for a disciplined and yet flexible approach in which the project is developed with a minimum of predetermined tactical assumptions. I call this process the Communications Realization Plan. Once again, allow strategy and content to be the driving forces and then incorporate the other details to best achieve your goals. This calls for a balance of practicality and creativity and a willingness to avoid foregone conclusions. Broadly speaking, there are 4 essential components which give me the capability to deliver superior communication support that is both inexpensive and highly effective. These factors are all interrelated and essential. But without my experience, the other 3 components could not come into play. It is my extensive background in all phases of marketing and corporate communications that provides me with the know-how and hands-on skills to fully maximize every communications opportunity. As Senior VP of Creative, I was responsible for the creative output on a huge variety of projects for every industry category imaginable. It is this experience that allows me to so effectively transform strategy into thoughtful, engaging, and effective communications. As VP of Production, I was immersed in technology that was constantly evolving. I learned that, whatever the medium, there was always an opportunity to innovate and expand the capabilities. Process is where it all comes together in an interactive, non-traditional approach that delivers a huge improvement on the quality and cost-effectiveness over conventional methodology. This is the traditional approach to project development. Many people doing many things. but it has its downside. A chain that is only as strong as its weakest link. Costly in more ways than one. My approach is different, drawn from my extensive hands-on experience in all phases of communications. Mine is a non-linear approach in which all elements continually interact. This non-compartmentalized methodology results in the optimum blend of the written word, visual support, both graphics and video, and the elimination of traditional costly production inefficiencies. Always present during the entire process is the oversight of high-level strategic and conceptual thinking. For example, in developing this presentation, the original script was not etched in stone. Instead, it was fluidly adjusted and enhanced as visual concepts sparked ways to maximize the effectiveness of the final messaging. To further provide high-impact, cost-effective communications, I have developed an innovative approach to video production called Green Screen 3D, which dramatically reduces costs while expanding creative options far beyond what you would expect possible within a modest budget.
Your positive spirit is a powerful, unstoppable force. You provide a source of energy.
But no matter how sophisticated the technology, sometimes it is the simple, clever, and inexpensive idea that best communicates the message.
Hello, can you hear me? Is anyone out there? Whatever. I have been asked by the management to read a brief announcement. It is darker than the back room of a French... Thanks, mate. To whom it may concern, I believe that would be you. The video you are now watching is the product of a single individual who wrote, designed, produced and directed it. Some sort of control freak. It's intended to demonstrate one person's ability to create highly sophisticated and inventive communications from concept to completion. Well, don't we have a fine opinion of ourselves? The key advantages being superior strategic and creative thinking combined with a streamlined production process that opens up possibilities previously not affordable within most budgets. Lovely.